It's the 15th of September. My name is Chloe Louise Wood and this is Leslie Nulty. Leslie is playing the role of Rachel and I am playing the role of the counsellor with a view to using the cognitive behavioural therapy. So, Rachel, you were saying that you have been signed off work again. Is this correct?
Yes, I thought I was doing so well. Things seemed to have been better. And then it all started again. I just, I feel overwhelmed, and I tried to speak to my boss about it. But he's really busy. I do understand that. But then he just seemed dismissive and said, "Oh, does this mean you're going to be off work again?" And it made me feel awful.
Right, so you felt like you couldn't speak to him, and how did that then make you feel?
Well, I felt like misunderstood. I don't like to talk about my mental health, but I feel like he must just think I'm lazy or whatever. I don't feel I'm doing a good job at all at work, and I've said to you before that it's not a job I would choose to do normally, but we've got a house that we're renovating, and the bills and everything else, I just can't afford to give the job up.
Okay, so this is a job that you do need to continue with, and you've expressed that you've been signed off now. How long is that for?
It's for 2 weeks again.
Okay, so let's work together, and I'm sure that we can get you back to work. You managed to go back before, didn't you, Rachel?
Yes, yeah, it was fine for a while.
Okay, so let's talk about the thoughts and feelings that you have that have made you feel depressed and that are stopping you from going into work.
Well, it starts first thing in the morning when I wake up. I dread going into work. The thought of getting up and going into work, it just horrifies me, and I feel so awful, and all the feelings overwhelm me, and then I just lie in bed all day, and that makes me feel even worse. I think that my colleagues at work and my boss must hate me for it, so it just goes on and on.
Okay, what makes you think that everyone might hate you, Rachel?
Well, because I feel I'm the weak link in the team, and that I am the worst at the job. Everyone else seems to just get on with it with no issue.
Rachel, has anyone ever said this to you at work?
No.
Okay. So, let's imagine if you had a friend, Rachel, and the friend came to you and they said, "I'm not really very good at something that they were engaging with at work." What would you say to your friend if they just didn't believe that they were very good at it?
What would I say? Well, I'd want to reassure them, because if they've not had any issues, like they've not had any form of disciplinary action taken against them, then they must be doing a good job. So that's what I would say.
That's very logical, Rachel, and so on that thought process, you should be applying that to yourself. And so, have you had a disciplinary at work, Rachel? Has there been any issue?
No, I've never had any action taken against me.
Okay, so if you were talking to yourself the way you speak to your friend, perhaps you would be saying, "You've not got any issues at work, you're doing really well, you're coping, and you should therefore be going in once you feel well enough to go." So let's talk about the positives. What have we been able to achieve. So previously we talked about you'd been for sushi, was it, with some of the team?
Yes, we did a few weeks ago. It was really nice, really unexpected. I was almost not going to go, and then I did go, and everybody was so positive and kind, and I never had any feeling that there was any resentment against me. In fact, the opposite. And also, what struck me most was in the office. It is a busy workplace, and everyone gets on with their work. And so, going out for a meal like that made me see them perhaps as real people, not just people like robots in the office, but that they have family lives and work issues and all that sort of thing, and so it was really lovely, and they did actually say, oh, we must do this again, and I'm looking forward to that, and perhaps even making some more building of relationships with the team. I felt more of a team member when I was there. I didn't feel just like I do normally feel when I'm there like an outcast, and when I think about going into work, but on that occasion, in a social environment, I felt part of the team, and it felt good. It felt really nice.
Well, that's a great positive. So there are some colleagues that you're really getting on well with. And then, have you ever been given any positive feedback at work?
Yes, I have. Once the boss did say to me that my presentation was the best of all the team, and I felt really good about that. It was really, it made me feel really good about myself. But then the next day I felt bad again. So I didn't really think it was true. I just think maybe he was just saying it.
Well, that's a really brilliant achievement to hear that from your boss. So, what I'd like you to do is this, Rachel. When you have a negative thought about work, let's think about blocking it. And we're going to replace that negative thought with something positive. So, something like we've discussed about the team, or something about how you're feeling about work and that your proposal was the best, or that you're doing fine. No one's come to you and given you any feedback that's negative. So that's a way of replacing the negative thoughts you're having with a positive thought, something that we know is true because we've discussed it between ourselves. How would you feel about trying that, Rachel?
Yes, I could do. I'll have to think up some ways of remembering those things and putting them into action, but let's see.
Another method, if you wanted to, if to try, is when the negative thoughts come, I'd like you to say inside of your mind, stop. So you're telling the negative thoughts, no, it's not happening, stop. And then immediately you try and think about something more positive, whether that's your reason for going to work. So you think, keep on working, I can renovate the kitchen, or keep on working, I can change the light bulbs in the lounge. So just keep thinking about positive things that come out of the work that you're doing. So the reason you've told me you're there is to fund those renovations and to keep on with that. So if you can use those positive aspects to stop the negative energy and the negative thoughts, I think that would be really successful.
Oh, I'll try that too. What else would you suggest?
The other thing I'd like you to think about, Rachel, is we've talked about depression previously and how it feels to lack the energy in the mornings and that negative start to the day. So could you just describe to me what your morning is like before you go to work? So the steps, just normal steps you would take each day before you go.
Well, the alarm goes off, get up, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth and do my hair, get ready in that way, put a bit of makeup on, get dressed and leave for the tram.
Okay, so that sounds quite a good routine. It's very thorough. And do you think that this next week, even though you're not required to go into work, do you think that you could try to get up and do those things? So perhaps it might be easy if we were to write them out. And then each one, as you do it, so the first one is that getting out of bed, the really important one. And I'd like you to tick it so you feel you've achieved that thing and you move on to the next one. Now, it might take longer, Rachel, than it normally would in the morning because I'm not expecting you to rush through it because you're steaming out of the door to work. I want you to take your time and to achieve those steps. And when you've got to the point of where you would leave the house, then you've really achieved something because that day you would have been in a position to go to work. And so if you can do that for me and then report back next time we're together, do you think you'd be able to do that homework for me, Rachel?
Yes, I think so.
Right.
I'll certainly give it a go. I want so much to improve. So I really want to get back to work and not be in this position all the time.
And do you think that taking it in those small steps, just even if you achieve some of them the first day, I just want to know when you come next that you've really tried to get those steps done. And then we're going to be in such a better position for talking again next week about how we'll then get you to go out to work.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Thank you.